Stand in the middle of the Salisbury Plain, and you are confronted by a physical impossibility. 50-ton blocks of stone, stretching 16 feet into the air, arranged in perfect, immovable concentric circles. Because the original builders left zero written records, centuries of historians stepped into the vacuum with folklore. They attributed the heavy lifting to the magic of Merlin, to giants, or even to extraterrestrial visitors. Today, archaeologists treat the site as an active 5,000-year-old cold case. They are pulling data directly from the Earth using modern forensics. That means extracting DNA and chemical signatures from ancient bone and deploying LiDAR, firing lasers from the air to measure the precise topography of the ground. The data exposes a highly coordinated society executing advanced, large-scale logistics. The supply chain alone reveals their massive logistical reach. The smaller blue stones originated 14 miles away in the Preseli Hills of Wales, while the massive central sarsens were dragged 16 miles from West Woods. This diagram shows how they moved that mass. By placing 50-ton blocks on wooden sledges running over tracks greased with animal fat, Neolithic engineers used strict mechanical advantage to multiply their pulling force. To lift the capstones, the geometry shifts. Timber A-frame cranes, stabilized by precise counterweights and thick rope systems, allowed workers to hoist those massive blocks straight up into the air. Once aloft, the stones were permanently locked together. The builders carved protruding pegs into the tops of the uprights and matching sockets into the capstones, a precise woodworking technique called a mortise and tenon joint, executed entirely in solid rock. These methods require intense discipline and mathematical planning. This was a highly orchestrated, pre-industrial civil engineering project. The people who executed this labor are still here. Excavations of the Aubrey Holes, a ring of chalk pits circling the monument, have uncovered the cremated remains of 63 individuals. To profile them, scientists use strontium isotope analysis. As teeth and bones form in childhood, they absorb trace elements from local water and soil, leaving a distinct chemical fingerprint of exactly where that person grew up. The geographical footprint hidden in those bones spans the continent. Individuals buried here traveled from Wales, from the Alpine foothills in Germany, and even from the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Pathological analysis of these bones also reveals a high frequency of trauma and physical deformity. This provides the forensic evidence for the theory that these travelers weren't just migrants, they were people seeking a prehistoric center for healing. This specific patch of land operated as a major international destination, drawing travelers across boundaries to bury their elite in the earliest known cremation cemetery. To understand the site's full scale, we have to look past the stones themselves. Using LiDAR, researchers scanned the surrounding miles of open fields to detect minute variations in the ground's surface. Watch what happens when the Stonehenge Hidden Landscapes project digitally strips away the topsoil. A vast, glowing subsurface network of trenches and geometric pits instantly appears. The Earth holds dozens of burial mounds and massive pits whose geometry aligns with solar and lunar cycles. Just 2 miles away sits Durrington Walls, an enormous wooden superhenge enclosing more than 3 square kilometers. You also find overlapping layers of much later history right on top of the ancient ruins. The scans accurately mapped World War I practice trenches and an airfield used by British troops. The Stone Ring was the central hub of a massive, evolving prehistoric metropolis. This metropolis required massive, sustained effort. The earthworks and stones were arranged and rebuilt across 3 distinct construction phases, spanning 1,500 years. The forensic evidence, from the bone trauma in the graves to the precise solstice alignments of the stones, suggests a multifunctional purpose. The site operated simultaneously as an elite cemetery, a place of healing, and a functioning solar calendar. Attributing this construction to magic ignores the extreme mathematical understanding and physical labor required to position 50 tons of rock with exact celestial precision. Bringing together thousands of people to haul these materials across hundreds of miles required deep cooperation. It points to a unification of different tribal lineages working together toward a shared generational goal. The forensic trail reveals a culture that could sustain the same civil engineering goal for 60 generations, using only stone, wood, and the collective willpower of a unified society.